easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change.
Oh my god, I am on the wrong screen here. Hold on. Here I am. I never switched that from last time. And I would like to get the chat widget up. Here we go. Hey JJ. Hi Dave. How are you guys doing? If I look exhausted, it's because I am. Even my voice sounds exhausted. As most of you know, I am running a very active campaign for town council. And it was, again, continued door literature dropping day. We will be doing a little bit more. Oh my god, look how sunburned I am. Holy crap. I literally have a redneck. Well, I spent, yes, both JJs are here. I spent today, again, I just cannot believe the sun I got. My word. Sorry, I didn't mean to show you my bra straps. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, today was a door literature dropping day. I'll be glad when campaign season is over. This is interesting. It's fun. It's interesting. But yes, I'm exhausted. And I've got bedhead. Actually, it's on this side of the face. Because Wayne woke me up like 2 minutes literally before the show. And is like, don't you have a show? And I'm like, yes! Let's go down to the basement and take care of this. So yes, I'm tired. Let me do my usual grift. Hopefully this is going to be a short show. And normally I do that on Fridays. LNC update day is usually Fridays. But I wanted to do the Southern Poverty Law Center. And James, I will tell you why Todd voted against those policy manual modifications. It was just one, and I was very interested myself, and I asked him privately, though I don't think he would mind me telling him why. Me telling you guys why, because it's nothing controversial. Okay, so this should be a short show, because even though some momentous things happened, it's not something I haven't talked to death. Though I'm absolutely willing to talk it to death some more, no matter how tired I am, if there are questions. But let me do the usual grift. Along the bottom, I sucked down some soda too fast before getting on the show because I am so exhausted. Along the bottom is my Patreon. Patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. If you can afford to be a patron, I would truly appreciate it. And while we are talking about patrons, one of my patrons is Sean Dempsey. And Sean Dempsey is a children's book author. Most of you have known the book I've been promoting for some time, A Tale of Two Brothers. But you may not know he's written a new one called Ava and the Storm. So if you bought, I'm going to do it so where you can see it, A Tale of Two Brothers for the young person in your life, you may want to buy them Ava and the Storm. Again, this is a book teaching life lessons. Yes, they are life lessons consistent with a libertarian philosophy because, of course, we do think that is the moral and ethical way to live. But this particularly ties in, without mentioning it, to just the horrible civil rights violations that happened the past couple of years. So let me give you the gist of the story. Spoiler alert for Ava and the Storm. But it basically talks, it's a fictional story, quite obviously, some people who live on a tropical island, and how this very wise man was telling them how they can avoid, terrible hurricanes from hitting their island. And, at the end, they have these people doing absolutely ridiculous and useless things, like wearing socks on their hands. And if one person on the island doesn't wear socks on their hands, that's why another hurricane hit them. I think you can see the parallels, but it's a very, very interesting book. I think children will get a lot out of it. It will give you great conversation material for talking to the young people in your life. And at the end of it, there's actually a little bit of a, adults section. Dear Parent. And it talks about the lessons that are being taught in this book. So I think it is extremely cute, extremely helpful, and you can pick it up on Amazon, and you can support a libertarian children's author. All right, let's get right into the LNC update, shall we? We got Dave Benner here. He can perhaps add some things that I miss. I need to suck down a little bit more soda to get some caffeine. This is a legal drug into my system. Not that I really care if you're doing illegal ones. It's just that caffeine happens to be a legal drug. And I'm super thirsty. Though I know caffeine actually dehydrates you. I should probably be drinking some water now. But since James asked about it, and in case he has to leave early, we're going to talk about the one motion that took place since my last update. And that was a policy manual amendment. The policy manual amendment amended a new policy manual provision. As often happens, sometimes you make a new provision, members get to think about it, or it gets put into practice, quite literally, and you see some weaknesses in it because it's brand new. So this amended a brand new policy manual amendment having to do with when we need to affiliate a state, which right now honestly only applies to New Mexico, despite what the Southern Poverty Law Hate Center says. And the original new policy manual amendment said that the LNC will not consider any petitions for affiliation unless all National Party members residing in that state had at least the opportunity, or right is the better word, the right to attend an organizing convention, meaning they knew about it, they were invited to attend, and an equal say or opportunity to vote on adoption of the initial bylaws and the initial officers. Once that policy manual amendment was passed, there were rumors afoot, and they were rumors. But whether or not they were credible rumors to New Mexico was pretty irrelevant. What was more important was, could this be done? And there were rumors afoot of plans to sabotage a potential New Mexico organizing convention. And I'll give you, in case anyone's still planning on trying funny business, I want to tell you ultimately how this would have failed even without this policy manual amendment, so to discourage any funny business. But the rumor was that somebody was going to purchase a bunch of national memberships for people a few days before the organizing convention so that they would blindside and sabotage any organizing convention by flooding it with brand new National Party members that would either vote for terrible bylaws, try to amend them with poison pills, elect terrible officers, something to that extent. I think you can get the idea. We've seen how the bad actors act, haven't we? So I moved to amend the policy manual further to say that there would basically be a seasoning period for new affiliations, and that is that you had to be a National Party member as of the date that any notice for an organizing convention was held. Now, that's a very modest seasoning requirement, but it at least makes sure that people who are going to have the right to have a vote at least have some skin in the game before the time they even before there was a notice of a convention. Like, they were already part of the controversy and not inserting themselves into it after the fact. Now, it passed with only one no and one abstention. Angela was the abstention because she was chair. She normally abstains from votes, so that's a non-issue. Todd was the sole no vote. I would like to explain why Todd voted that way, because I was surprised. I privately wrote him, and this is pretty close to a word for word to my question to him. And it was, Todd, you do not owe me an explanation whatsoever. But I'm curious why you voted no. And Todd just fundamentally has philosophical objections to any seasoning requirement. He votes no for them in established affiliates. Now, I disagree with him. I think seasoning requirements are absolutely necessary to nullify, is that the right word? After yesterday, we've just learned that nullification is a hate crime of some kind. But to blunt the ability of bad actors to sabotage conventions. But Todd just personally, fundamentally disagrees with seasoning requirements. I disagree with him, but I respect his stand. And that's why he voted against it. We have, and I understand seasoning requirements can be abused. There was, I think they amended it down. I say we because at the time out-of-state delegates were allowed. I don't remember if in Pennsylvania it's been amended down, but it was something like 6 months. That's far too long of a seasoning requirement. I happen to think the sweet spot of a seasoning requirement is between 60 and 90 days. And Colorado is 90 days. I think that really is the far end of what is a reasonable seasoning requirement. And to note what Dave said, the whole reason Colorado has a seasoning requirement is because of Howard Stern. We call it the Howard Stern anti-takeover provision. And I mean takeover by not take over in the sense that people are using it today by a caucus. That isn't what I mean. We mean by literal outsiders that have no intention of ever doing anything in the party. So I am a full believer in seasoning requirements. I understand that some people don't agree with them. I do think they can be abused and be too long. I do think any that are over 90 days are too long. But 90 and under, I think 30 actually is too short. I do think the sweet spot is between 60 and 90. But all it was a seasoning requirement. It passed overwhelmingly, but hopefully I've explained why Todd voted no. And hopefully you guys don't, even if you disagree with Todd, you don't be like, oh my God, what a terrible vote. It's just a position that he takes. So hopefully that explained that. Now, at the time I proposed that motion, there wasn't even yet a notice for a New Mexico convention. So, in theory, anybody... Yeah, let's kill him, Dave. Oh, God, now I probably will get demonetized or have it. That was a joke, YouTube. That was a joke. We love Todd. I'm a pacifist. I don't literally mean we should unalive anybody. I was just joking. Just because Todd is a traitor. Just joking. But what was funny, at the time I proposed that policy manual amendment, the New Mexico notice of organizing convention hadn't even gone out yet. So any potential saboteurs, if they were motivated, could have bought a national party membership during that time. So they had plenty. Oh, what happened here? I fucked up my nail polish. That sucks. I'm going to have to redo that. Wow. Sorry. But like the whole tip of my nail polish came off here. That was weird. Must not have let it dry, Well, men don't know this, but if you don't let your nail polish dry enough, well, I'll fix that after the show. I'll get you and your little dog too. But now that's bugging me. My ADHD is really coming into focus here. So, but since that time, the notice of organizing convention for New Mexico has come out. I should ask Robert Kraus if any new members signed up during that period of time. I don't know if any have. If they had, I think it was minimal. I actually do have the list of New Mexico National Party members. I haven't opened the file yet. Oh, God, excuse me. What a burp. Because I've been sucking down this soda. Oh, my God. I probably could see the join dates, but I don't think there was any flood of new members. So even if you're against a seasoning requirement like Todd is, they had plenty of notice to sign up. So if they didn't, too bad on them. Funny enough, there's also something people don't realize. Even though the National Party said, we will not consider a petition unless it complies with ABC, it doesn't prohibit the organizers from going beyond ABC. We didn't say we wouldn't consider a petition if they didn't exclude national members that joined after. We just said it has to include at least those that were members up until, and I did make that argument to Todd as well. Now, the New Mexico organizers did decide to limit it to people who were National Party members as of the date of their notice, but they weren't required to do that. That was a minimum, and that's what they decided was best for them. So, the next bit of big LNC news, it's LNC related, it's not LNC specific, is that the New Mexico Organizing Convention is scheduled for October 29th. So, and the people that they've decided, the organizers, who are going to be part of this organizing meeting and have voting rights, are National Party members residing, who are current as of the time of the call to convention, that reside in New Mexico. Now, it is possible that somebody's membership in the National Party could expire in this month. They would still have voting rights. But that's the parameters that they put down. And I think that leads to a potential voting pool of about 200 people if every National Party member showed up. I can't remember how many National Party members. Now, for those of you who are concerned that your data is getting released to two organizers in New Mexico, no. The convention requires pre-registration, and with your real name if you intend to be a voting member. So I get to see the registration list because it is using the National Party Zoom account, and I will be looking at the names and the email addresses of the people that have registered. And if there's any kind of discrepancy with the email address they used, I will be getting in touch with them, and I'll be helping them pre-credential National Party members, but they might also have to provide proof of their National Party membership, either a paid receipt or a statement from a national headquarters to the organizers, but no personal information from our CRM will be released to a non-affiliate. Once they're affiliate, they'll have, and that's assuming they get the signatures and we approve their petition, they will then have rights to that data, but they are not being given raw data. Just want to assure people of that. Their proposed bylaws ratify the statement of principles. So basically, they just need to have an organizing convention, adopt these bylaws or with amendments, as long as it doesn't amend out the ratification of the statement of principles, get 15 National Party members to sign off, and their petition for affiliation will be presented at the November LNC meeting in Austin and hopefully get approved. So hopefully we will have a New Mexico affiliate come November. And I can tell you that I personally vow, can't speak for any other LNC member, though I do think most LNC members will agree with me, that one of our top priorities then will be to get ballot access for our new New Mexico affiliate. Now, some people are wondering about the name because Chris Lucchini's group is still using the name Libertarian Party of New Mexico. If you remember, our disaffiliation motion authorized the executive committee to initiate legal action to protect our trademark. So that is something, I can't tell you the conversations we're having with attorneys or anything like that. You know it's already authorized, so you know it's coming. That's no secret. But it's not resolved as of yet. If Lucchini is smart, and actually, Lucchini is smart. I don't like him. I don't think he has good ethics, but I've never said he's a stupid man. He's not a stupid man. He's a wealthy man. You don't accumulate that kind of wealth by being stupid. So hopefully Lucchini will use his smarts and go do his own thing. Go join the Keystone Party or whatever it is he's planning on doing, rather than wasting his own money. It'd be wasting National Party money as well, but wasting his own money on a trademark lawsuit. But if you notice in the petition for affiliation, in the proposed bylaws, this new group, and I actually think this is pretty awesome until we win our trademark lawsuit, which I am absolutely confident we will, they chose the name the Free Libertarian Party of New Mexico. Anybody who knows party history will know that this is a shout out and a callback to New York. New York, for about a decade, could not be the Libertarian Party of New York, but this was because the state wouldn't allow them to, because I think there was a Liberty Party at that time, and they decided the name was too similar. So they called themselves the Free Libertarian Party of New York. So there's an historical precedent for when, for whatever reason, you can't use our normal name to be the Free Libertarian Party of X. That is what the organizers of this potential new New Mexico affiliate have decided. And I think that's pretty awesome. But also there's a proviso to the bylaws that allows the board to change the name if there turns out there's legal reasons that they need to be able to do that very quickly. It will not require a convention to do that. However, this is one of the provisos. This hasn't been passed yet, but also the proviso also says something to the effect of, if the name the board chooses does not contain the word libertarian or liberty, that they have to get approval of the LNC for a different name, so it's nothing nutty. Excuse me. And that affects our brand. So hopefully they find that reasonable and they pass it. So that's what's going on with New Mexico. I told you that would happen fast. They were disaffiliated on, what date was it? The appeal window has passed, by the way. I think the appeal window expired on October 12th. So we are Lucchini did not appeal. So we are absolutely free to affiliate with a new group. And I think the appeal window passed on the 12th. I think it was September 11th. I think it was the same day that Holly Ward and her fellow oligarchs tried to dissolve the Libertarian Party of Virginia, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. So this was fast. The disaffiliation vote happened on September 11th. The convention to make a new affiliate is October 29th. That is frickin' fast. James, does Chris have a doctorate? If he does, I honor that. So I would call him that. But Chris never asked for that. Just like Laura Epke, who also has a doctorate, did not like being called Dr. Epke. In fact, during the brief period of time when John Wilford was Secretary Pro Tem, because he was never Secretary of the LNC, but he was Secretary Pro Tem, he did put in the minutes Dr. Epke, and she objected to that. So if Chris Lucchini has a doctorate, and I hear through the grapevine that he prefers to be called Dr. Lucchini, I will absolutely honor that. But in all the years I've known him, he has never asked to be called that. Unlike Chuck Moulton, who has asked. And I don't find that unreasonable if you have that accomplishment. I don't think doctorates and things other than medical science. I know people like to make fun of Dr. Jill Biden because her doctorate is not in medicine. I don't mock that. Okay. Well, James, if I ever hear that Lucchini wants to be called Dr. Lucchini, I'd have no problem with that. But I don't think he likes that, because he's never, ever insisted on that. But I was just saying, I don't mock people who have doctorates and things other than, physics, medicine, or whatever than that. It's quite an achievement. But I wasn't aware of that, but it doesn't surprise me. Lucchini's a very smart man. Damn, I'm dehydrated, so drinking a Mountain Dew is probably the worst thing for me. It's probably making me more dehydrated. The sun got me today. So, are there any questions on New Mexico? I'm giving it a few minutes just in case. I am so bummed. Because look, these are actually, you can't probably see them on camera, but I got like these sparkly purple nail polish on. I can't believe I screwed up. But as you can tell, I haven't done this hand yet. I did one nail of it, but haven't done the rest of it. Because this is actually like quite complicated build-up gel. Not just gel polish. Excuse me. I am burping so hard from sucking down this Mountain Dew. But it's actually builder gel. I don't think the guys here, their eyes are glazing over. They have no idea what I'm talking about. And Rhett, hey Rhett, how are you doing? So we are all looking forward to the restart in New Mexico. I will be there. Not New Mexico physically, because it is a Zoom convention. I'll be there to help administer the room, because again, they did ask and were granted permission to use the National Party Zoom room, but a condition of the permission is that we're not giving the password to anyone, that I am going to open the room and I will be there to administer the room. I'm not participating in the convention in any other way other than that, and assisting them with credentialing. Okay, so it doesn't look like there are any other questions in New Mexico. The motion that we talked about and this thing, that I think deals with New Mexico. Next up, Virginia. While the date might not have been as fast as I would have liked, it's hard when it comes up around the holidays. The action was super fast, just like New Mexico. So, Virginia has scheduled their special convention. Their constitution allows the members, upon petition, to call a special convention. This is necessary because their chair has basically resigned. But the chair, it's complicated. I'm not going to get into the complications of it. But the bottom line is they need to have a special convention in order to take care of certain party business so that the party can move forward, including electing a new chair. So, or several officers, I think. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the technicalities, except to know that they did need to call the special convention in order to continue properly the work of the party. They had to do that by member petition. I think they needed 63 signatures. That's close to being correct. It's a certain percentage of the membership in Virginia. They far exceeded that. They exceeded it by like 20%, I believe. So they have called their special convention for December 3rd. I think it's just outside of Richmond. I will be there. That's set. I've got my tickets. This isn't I hope to be there. This is, I got the plane tickets, baby. I will be there. So, I look forward to seeing you at the Virginia convention. So, if anyone doubted that we still have a Virginia affiliate, they are having a convention on December 3rd. They are carrying forward the publications that printed the absolute falsehood by believing bad actors that the Libertarian Party of Virginia was dissolved. Should absolutely issue a retraction. I know it will be, even though digitally, on the proverbial last page, it still should be issued. I'm sure Holly will still run around, as much as she can, drinking that much bourbon. Yes, that's a joke, because I like my alcohol too. In fact, I've got empty bottles of Fireball here, and another full one, which I'm not drinking tonight. Because I'm already exhausted and just want to go to bed, but I don't mind joking about bad actors. I'm sure she'll still run around and still be trying to claim the Libertarian Party of Virginia is dissolved. It is not. It is having a convention. And just know that that group has ulterior motives in saying that, because on the same day, or the day after they allegedly attempted to dissolve the Libertarian Party of Virginia, they started a competing political party. So they are not neutral actors here. They have a competitor already. But something, if you guys didn't watch last night's show, there was something I noticed that I never noticed before. In their resolution, their rant, their list of grievances, which is just like so leftist. Not that having grievances is leftist, it's just the way they listed them out. It reminded me of those really baby, like, we need a safe space student organizations that make demands upon, administration because, the paint in the library is racist or something. In their resolution, one thing they said is that the new National Party supports the repeal of the Civil Rights Act, which is contrary to libertarian principles. And I never noticed that before, that they said that, because support for repeal of the Civil Rights Act has been part of the Libertarian Party platform since 1972, which just goes to show that Holly, alleged chair, former chair now, of the by her words, of the Libertarian Party of Virginia, didn't know that. She didn't even know what the party she allegedly joined and was trying to lead believed in. That has always been a part of the Libertarian Party platform. She don't know what she's talking about. Nobody should take a thing she says seriously when she makes such a fundamental mistake as that. Now, you could disagree. I know libertarians who have been in the party who are like, you know what? I don't think that should be our position. That's different from saying that the new LNC supports this. Yeah, every LNC has supported this. And it's contrary to libertarian principles. Then you're just basically saying the foundation of the party. Not foundation, the formation of the Libertarian Party started out on something, including something that is contrary to libertarian principles. I really honestly don't think she knew. This is what we've always believed, which makes me question whether she ever really held to libertarian principles. Because even though, yes, this means that people will use their rights in a way that you don't like, freedom of association, which is what the Civil Rights Act violates when it comes to private actors. All libertarians are against government discriminating. But private actors have every right to choose who they're going to associate with and do business with, even if the reasons for their decisions are gross. Anything else is slavery. But Ms. Ward apparently didn't know that or understand that, which means she doesn't understand a basic principle of libertarianism. I've often said, if the local, 24-hour little neighborhood grocery decided we don't want to do business with pink-haired libertarians, they have every right to do that. And the rest of the neighborhood, if they thought that was a real shitty thing to do, has every right to boycott them. And that's the way in a free society things get handled. All right, that I think is it for LNC News. Is there any questions? Or I guess it would be, are there any questions? Is there something I forgot? I don't think so. Have you noticed something about this LNC? Because we don't bicker with each other all the time, the list doesn't have 1 million emails a day, including from me. And I was known in the past as being the serial emailer because we get along. We like each other. We're not corrupt. So I don't really think there was much else. Now, you will start to see a lot of activity probably starting next week. Yeah, there is something else to cover because our budget meeting is coming up in November. I can tell you that informally, the officers and staff are meeting tomorrow night. Meeting is probably even the wrong word. We're conferring about the draft budget that the executive committee will be working on. I anticipate there will be multiple executive committee meetings in the coming weeks, so that will be pretty busy. Some of those will be in executive session because we deal with things like employee contracts, compensation, and the like. But other parts of it will not be that you would be perfectly welcome to attend, but I will tell you that those aren't usually the most scintillating executive committee meetings where we are hashing out the budget. And then the way it works is the executive committee approves a draft budget. The draft budget is what is then presented to the LNC at the fourth quarter meeting, which this time it's early. Normally it's in December, but it's going to be in the first week of November because our chair is due to deliver a baby any day now after that meeting. I think mid-November is when the baby is due. But we are meeting the first week in November to approve the budget. So yeah, that is coming up. It's busy. Also, this national email hasn't gone out. Staff is working on it. I think it's going out on Monday. But we are soliciting applications for the Bylaws and Convention Rules Committee. So that's something that will go on. And also the new Ballot Access Committee. That notice with the links to the applications is already up on the national website, however. What isn't up on the national website yet is the notice of the Virginia convention. Now, we don't have to post that, but I asked the Virginia guys to write something up for me to post on the website. So I'm just waiting for that. But the notice for the New Mexico convention is in fact up there, and that email notice has been mailed out. Okay, I think that is it. I'm going to give this a few minutes. Wow, so this did turn out to be like a 45-minute show, though. I thought it would be under 20 minutes. Man, I can talk, can't I? So, just giving it a few minutes to see if there are any questions. All of a sudden, like I got all congested. I'm just a hot mess tonight. I'm tired. It's wearing on me, this just walking the neighborhood every weekend. So, I only got like this much left in the soda, and I started with a full one. I just need to chug some water. But I'm giving it a few minutes for questions, and otherwise, I'll be taking off. I do not think there will be a show tomorrow, because again, as I said, there's a budget informal discussion tomorrow evening. But if there, I'm not so sure. If there is one, it'll probably be a history show, or maybe I'll start on those criticism's not the right word, critiques, responses that I've been saving up. I keep talking about doing to Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, but we shall see. So let me give it a few minutes. Let me finish the soda. Please ask any questions on the screen there. Make Bunchy happy, because Bunchy right now is, he's like, you don't want to make Bunchy feel that way, do you? Wow, I can't believe I finished that whole soda. All right. We'll play the Jeopardy music. Okay, doesn't look like there are any questions. Well, I'm glad to give you a fairly uneventful LNC update. Oh, and in case you were curious, because I have mentioned this on a prior show, that there is a former affiliate chair that sends me regularly unhinged harassing emails. I got my regular email earlier today. It's deeply disturbing. Mentally unwell people are in this party. And it's funny, in most circles, some random dude regularly sending unhinged, abusive, and harassing emails to a woman would be considered misogyny. Isn't it funny how the left or the woke don't play by their own rules? Now, do I think he's being misogynistic? No, I just think he's a barking moonbat. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. All right, everyone. I hope, and LNC members, if you want to know who it is, I'll tell you. People have said, say the name, expose this person. I literally do think he's unhinged. And there's two reasons why I don't publicly say the name of an unhinged person. One, they can be dangerous, and I'm not looking to get assaulted or hurt, even though this person is not in my state. And number two, if I legitimately believe they are mentally unwell, which I do, I don't think you publicly mention the name of people who have mental problems. I think that's... it just doesn't feel right if you legitimately think they need help. But I'd be more than happy to give the LNC the identity of this person. Who knows who else they're harassing? Ask me privately, any LNC member, and I'll let you know, but I'm not telling anyone else. All right, everyone. I hope you have an awesome evening, and maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business.